on repeat.
I said hello, 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 and then I remembered that my thing is to say hi, 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 hi. I don't know how that started. And now it's just sticked, and now I need to always start with hi, 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 hi. Hi. Hello, welcome to the fourth masterclass of 12 Days of Creativity. And today we will start making our tracks. So let's have a look-sees. 12 Days of Creativity is a music production challenge. I'm going to do this beginning intro quite fast because we already did one session today where I went through it in more detail. It's every second weekend, from September to November. I also live stream my own sessions. Today is the day that we will download our 12-day planner from the link down below. Go and download it now because we will be using this today and I will explain it today, and this will make your whole 12 days of creativity, because it's not me doing the 12 days, it's you doing the 12 days of work for yourself to finish a track. And that's the whole point of this whole challenge. Complete the challenge in your own pace, and you can join this challenge anytime. You will do 12 days of creativity this autumn, anytime, whenever you want to do. You need to finish a track or sample or loop. It doesn't need to be good. You just finish something, and that's how you can win a giveaway. And if you want to join the giveaway, you need to go and sign up from my website to the challenge so that you will get updates about this challenge and also updates on how to join the actual giveaways. We will talk about workflows a lot today, and if you want to actually follow a pre-made workflow, sign up for my online course, which is a very, very, very detailed. So you will learn to produce very detailedly from start to finish in Ableton Live, and you can get minus 25% off with this code 12DOC 2024. Also, to join my Squirrel Squad, aka I have the poster there, Squirrel Squad, aka my Patreon community, the kindest community, online community, audio community there is, the kindest of them. Join it, the Discord, from £1 a month. That's the deal. Hey, 12 days of creative task. We have tasks every single time I do these sessions. Every second week there will be a task. The first one was to study type of music you want to create this autumn, and today we will talk about creating step-by-step workflow for yourself using the creativity planner. So go and download it from below, because then your next 2 weeks you will fill that up and you'll start doing your track. Giveaway prizes. The main prize is Baby Audio Gift Bundle, one of my online courses, and LNA merch. merch. I have a lot of cool kind of merch. You can find it from my website. The person sharing the most about their progress on social media also can win LNA merch as well LNA course, because I am LNA and I will give it to you if you win that one. Just remember to tag me, Ellen, at LNA Does Audio Stuff, especially Instagram. I can put you in the stories and so on. Hey, just quick thing before we start is DistroKid is our challenge sponsor, and currently I'm doing my own challenge of finishing and publishing 1 track a month, and DistroKid is what I use to distribute. So if you do finish this, DistroKid also will give you a very, very, very nice gift, which is a nice discount code. So anyone who finishes this will receive that code. Pretty good deal. So I just want to quickly mention that let me just quickly share. Let's talk about one. This is like a little mini advertisement because they have sponsored this series. So I want to talk about something that is called Hyperfollow. I use this all the time. So Hyperfollow is one link. It's this link here that I can share wherever I want. So social media, bios, anywhere. It's like, hey, I have a new track, it's out, and it has everything. So I can put music video here, I can put all the different platforms so that people don't need to go and find your track from different places. So you can say, my latest track, Your Heat, which you could hear in the beginning of this series, is here. Spotify, Beatport, SoundCloud, YouTube Music, Deezer, iTunes, Apple Music. It all comes in here, and you can customize it using this. Edit this page. Here we go. And you can see, you can add your album title, artist, location, bio, all of the links, all of them. Social media buttons, video. I usually add a video as well, but I forgot to put it into this one. And also audio player and more settings. So you can actually add quite a lot, and it will stay, this link will stay here however long. And you can just share this one link and it will have everything to do with your single title. And the great thing is that when you have uploaded into Spotify or something, then it will, before you have all the link, already share the link before it's even out, and people can pre-save your track through this link, which means that if people pre-save, you get their email address, but also they start following you on Spotify automatically. So it's a really, 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 really practical thing. So thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring this event. And thank you for making cool product like that, because it's very useful. Isn't it, Sophie? So we also have a Sophie here. Hello, Sophie.
Hi.
You also use DistroKid, don't you?
I do use DistroKid for every single release. It's so straightforward. And yeah, tons of great features. Hyperfollow I use, good for pre-saving and helping with the big scary algorithms, because who enjoys algorithms? Not me. But it helps.
We're like infomercial?
Yeah.
Like, hello, and Sophie. So you also use DistroKid, don't you? For your music called cherryseraph.com. Go and listen to Sophie's music if you're into alternative pop. Oh, that's a great start for this. Andrew said, has this ever happened to you?
With the big point, so everybody knows.
Has this ever happened? Okay, we need to continue. But Sophie's here to monitor the chat. And if you have any questions about workflows from me during the session, Sophie will collect all the questionnaires and I will answer everything at the middle and mostly in the end, because we need to get through this presentation. Bye, Sophie.
Bye.
You're in the background now. Bye. Okay, so here we go. Oh yeah, I wanted to add a reminder that this challenge is self-scheduled. Each bi-weekly masterclass will end with a task that gives you guidance on what to do next to finish your track this autumn. So today it's all about creative workflows, and in the next couple of weeks you will be creating yourself a workflow. But why? Why is it so important to do a workflow? So like in the last interview that we had with Alice F.A., aka Biscui, who is amazing content creator, musician, YouTuber, DJ, everything. She was talking about how in her workflow, she finds like a motive and then builds everything around that. That is called a workflow. And when you are someone who's not done music example for a long time, or you struggle with creative blocks, or you feel like you sometimes feel overwhelmed by things, or you feel like you're not finishing tracks, then sometimes it's extremely good. And not even then, like I use workflows all the time, because if we want to get from A to B and we have a goal, we need to have a plan and we need to have direction. Why is that? This is how I explain it. Okay, let's say that you're cooking something and you have a lot of ingredients. And let's say the ingredients are the plugins, the sounds, the synths, the genres, all these different things that create whatever you want to create. And you're the cooker, called chef. Cooker, it works as well. You're the person who cooks. And then you have a goal. So you wouldn't start necessarily, you might start cooking without a recipe. You might. But if you're not experienced cook, do you think that thing that you're cooking without recipe will be great? So let's say baking. You start baking a cake. Would that cake become extremely good? That goal? If you don't have a recipe, if you don't have instructions, if you're not necessarily super experienced, knowing what each ingredient does to the dough. Even person who might be extremely experienced, but they want to do a certain type of cake, let's say a professional baker who wants to do a certain type of cake, they still need instructions. They still need the recipe to guide them from A to B. So, for example, let's say that you have all the ingredients and then you start cooking. The goal becomes but you are not using a recipe. The song can look like that. We've all been there. We've all been there. We're overwhelmed. We're overworked. We have ear fatigue. We just can't do anything anymore. We can't hear it. It all sounds a mess. Everything is a bit of it doesn't sound anything like the genre or the style that you went to for, because you just started cooking and it's all just ugh. So how about with the recipe? You follow the recipe step by step. You put the ingredients together. You cooked it. And it became a beautiful dish. It might be a dish that is a bit new to you. So it might not be fully your flavor. That's absolutely fine. But you did it. And this is the same thing with music. As music producers, we have zillion different options when we start making music. We have different plugins. We have sample libraries. We have synths. We have so much. And it's impossible to know everything. And it's impossible to think that you can actually take all that, sit down, and just suddenly put all them together and it becomes incredible. Very fast. It's almost impossible to anyone to do. And don't think that like professional music producers can just sit down and just do that every single time and every single time create something that is delicious. No, it doesn't work that way. What experienced music producers do is that they might have a workflow in their head that they follow, even if it's not written down. They still have a formula in their head that follows a certain structure that they follow each single time. As someone who is neurodiverse, I really need a guideline for myself. I need that every single time. If I don't have that, I get overwhelmed, I get exhausted, I get overthinking things, I get creative block out of it. I need to have a step-by-step guide And what that looks like, I'm going to now teach you what it looks like. So, as some of you might know, I've been writing a book about this topic in the past 4 or 5 years, and it's finally coming out next year. And this is one of the theories from my book. So you are getting a little pre-taster. This is a very light version of it. So there will be a whole chapter explaining what this is, and I'm just showing one part of it. So I talk about this triangle of workflows, and it has 3 sections for it. We're going to be today talking about the top one. That's the one you will be doing today. If you want to learn how to do the first one and the second one, you need to buy the book when it comes out. But I will talk about very briefly what they are. The big picture workflow is the basis of your identity, who you are, your goal, your actual passions in the world, everything that you want to become. It's the broad workflow to help you figure out your goals and motives. It helps you to understand what is it actually you want out of this. Is it a hobby? Is it fame? Is it your mom's validation and love out of songs? Do you want to make someone proud? What are those things that why is it that you're actually doing that? Because understanding each one of those values will then help you to figure out all those values then affect your workflow and your goal and what you're trying to do. Example, let's say that your whole passion of making music is to make somebody proud. Then absolutely that will affect your decisions of what kind of sounds you want to make. Like, let's say I want to make my mom proud, but my mom doesn't really like EDM. So my first thought then is not to make EDM, even though I like EDM. I like house music, but my mom doesn't like house music. So obviously then that will affect my decisions. So the big picture workflow is to figuring this out for yourself. What does it mean? Why do you make music? What do you want to get out of this? Are you making music as a hobby, or do you want to monetize it? Do you want to do it as a job? Techniques are discussed more in detail in my book, How to Do This. So this was another infomercial. To learn more about this, go to and buy my book. It's not out yet, but it will come out soon. So follow me if you want to know when it's out. The next stage is life workflow. A workflow that allows you to plan your creativity. So this will be example. Common techniques for this are time blocking, using creative thinking models, which I will be talking about in the session in a couple of weeks. I think it's in next month. I will talk about creative thinking models. I will also talk about time blocking more. Planning your creativity around most productive time of your day. So it's understanding how you work, how your time works. Let's say that you have kids and you have family and you have responsibilities. How do you fit your creativity around that? And how does that serve your goal? Because all that will affect your creativity. Let's say that, again, your creative blocks can come from the fact that you have kids and you have responsibilities or something, and you only have an hour a week. So obviously there's an immense amount of pressure when you sit down. You feel like you need to create the masterpiece right now, because otherwise you don't have the time. So this workflow will help you to understand how to organize your time so that you can actually avoid the pressure, avoid the burnout, to avoid having that feeling like you can't do enough, like you feel like you don't have enough hours in a week. This will help for that. This will help you to organize your time. And we will have live workflow techniques discussed a little bit more in the 28th of October session. Okay? Now, today we will talk about the third one, action workflow. We will do this. And honestly, doing this is the best thing you can do for yourself and your creativity. I promise you. I do this every single time I have I'm doing a track. And if I don't do this, I get lost. It's just, I get a creative block. Action workflow. What is it? What is it? Action workflow that allows you to plan your creative process step by step or give it a guideline to follow. Reduces creative blocks, confusion, fatigue, and maximizes the chances to make something that reflects your goals. Again, it's that recipe. It's the recipe for your cooking. Instead of just rummaging through random ingredients into a pan and hoping for the best, we have a goal. I want to make this kind of cake. It needs this kind of ingredients. Okay, in what order do I need to put them in? Can I put them however I want? It gives you a guideline. It gives you a map. It's instructions. You don't need to think about it as so much in a way instructions, but more as a map to help you to get where you need. So that means that if you get lost, what do? We look map. You can again get inspired. You can start wandering in your own paths. But every single time you get lost, you look at your map. You come back to it. So it's just giving yourself the guideline of helping you to get from A to B. Honestly, if you don't have a plan from A to B, you will never think that you will get to the B, because you feel that it's so overwhelmingly big challenge to get from A to B, whatever life thing this is. But when you break it down into very tangible, very realistic steps, only thing you need to think about is the next step. But it also gives you the trust that if you follow this, you will get to the goal. You will get to the goal because there's no other option. As long as you just keep on following the steps one by one, you will get to the goal. Because the plan says so. So you don't need to trust yourself, you can trust the plan. So when you lose the faith in yourself, have faith in the plan. Because we all lose our faith sometimes. So we just need to give ourselves a guideline to follow. There are some different ways to do an action workflow, and you need to find that works best for you. I personally use different ones almost every single month when I'm creating a track. So I'm giving some of my favorite options here to you now. So this takes us to 12 Days of Creativity Planner. Download it now. Go. Under this video, there is a link to go to my website. There's a shop on my website that has a 12 Days of Creativity Planner. Has people found it? Because I'm also worrying that the link is not down there. But can people confirm that the link is down there? Okay, Sophie has confirmed the link is down there. Everybody, the link is down there. Go and download it. It's free, but if you do want to give a little donation towards this whole challenge, you are absolutely welcome to do so. There's an option, a £5 donation, which goes towards that I can do this and I can do things. I can do my job. So any donation is welcomed, but you can have it for free. Also, if you do want to have a free pre-made workflow, which I have created, I have my Ableton Live track from start to finish course on my website as well. And it's very intense. Not intense. It's just shows everything you need to know. So it's very approachable, very easy step-by-step workflow. So this autumn, if you rather have a pre-made workflow instead of making it yourself, you can use the code minus 12DOC 2024 to get minus 25% off. I also do think that there was an example of one follower who was from Brazil, and I understand in Brazil, pounds, the currency change is quite big. So I understand. So please email me if you really want to do it, but we can see if we can sort something out together. Email me, but otherwise use the minus 25% off because that's already plenty. And also I do think you get a lot for the money, a lot. I put so much work towards that course, so I'm very proud of it, and you will learn a lot. So let's get back to here quickly. So we will now if you downloaded it, we will now start filling this up. And this is how you will do the next couple of weeks. Or if you want to do the other workflows, you can. So let me just quickly share. There we go. Here we go. So I share this planner now in Canva. So obviously you can download. You can print this for yourself. I saw already on Instagram someone had printed this in an analog way. I absolutely love that they have this as a proper like paper version, but also you can just do this digitally if you want to. Maybe save it as your screensaver or something, so you or desktop, so you have it always there. Sorry, my iPhone. Wow, the headphones are hurting a little bit. So is that better? Okay, let's see. How do we start finishing this? So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days. I'm giving you 12 days of finish a track. You can start now filling this up the way you want. There's a couple ways that you can do that. For example, we could take the approach that Alice was talking about in the last interview. Finding the core element. What does that mean? So example, what we could start with is on day 1. We could start by create. How to spell create? Create. I'm dyslexic and foreign, so forgive me. I'm not native English speaking and I'm dyslexic. Create, let's say, a chord pattern. So example, harmonic quality. That could be your day 1. You could just create a chord pattern. That's all I'm asking from you. That gives you harmonic quality, which means choose a scale and tempo. That's pretty easy. We can start with that. The second one is finding a motive. Motive is something, it's basically a hook, it's a riff. So if you are, example, a guitar player, it might be a riff. It's something that has a melodic quality. I have on my YouTube channel, I have a tutorial about the 4 most important aspects that create emotion in a track. And one of them is motive, and it could be the hook. Example, personally, how I like finding a motive currently is creating, example, a abbreviated hook, and then I'm gonna resample it. So I start manipulating it, I start looping it, I start cutting it, and this creates, I'm actually gonna show you. I'm gonna open, I was working on a track today and I created a motive today. So I'm just gonna show my Ableton session and I'm gonna show what this means. And this is one of the greatest ways to create example. This is how I do it. Let me quickly show this. Let's see if hopefully audio works as well. Well, this became a surprising workshop, didn't it? Ableton session and all. So let's just quickly present. Let's just show that. Ooh, there it is. So this is the second track I'm working on my EP. Let's hope that it's loading. It's loading. Let's hope that it works and you can hear the sound. This just helps me to demonstrate what motive could be looking like. It's really buffering, but can you hear it? Sophie could hear it. Yes. Okay, let's have a look then. So I wanted to find a motive. So what I did is that I went to Splice and I found a abbreviated sample. So it was just basically, let me see if I can find the original. Let's see if I can find the original. I can't find it. Oh, no, I can. There we go. Okay, so this was the original sample that I found from Splice. Very spacey, very atmospheric. And what I did is that I put it into a take lane. Whoop. Take lane. And I started resampling. So I just went. And I resampled. I made sure that it's in the same rhythm as my hi-hats. And I consolidated it into a new thing. And it became this glitchy new sample. And I looped a small section of it. And it sounds like this. This is a motive. It could be as simple as this. So that has a melody. So it's just that D minor chord in a rhythm. And it sounds really great now with the hi-hats. And it could be as simple as that. So it could be also a solo instrument. That's not a solo instrument. So that's what I'm meaning now, okay? Is that you will start filling up. That's the wrong one. You will start filling up this into different sections. Okay, where is it? There. So find a motive. The third one we could add is create a solo. Again, you can find whatever you want to add here. Next we could add is kick and hi-hats, for example. The next we could add bass. Next we could add groove. So groove example in this point. Let me show you again in Ableton Live what that means when I say find a groove. What does that mean? Because you all know that example, you can have one day where you create a solo, one day where you create a kick and hi-hat, bass. Those are quite straightforward. But what do we mean with groove? Groove is usually a thing that really ties things together, and it's a very overlooked thing in a workflow. So to be honest, let's show here. So as I example showed you, me going and adding the arpeggiator to the same rhythm as this was creating groove. So how did I do that? I put them together next to each other, and I made sure that these transients of the arpeggiator are matching with the transients of the hi-hat. And that's how simple it is. So I was just literally moving these around here until I could find a rhythm that is complementing the groove of that. So that is one way of creating groove. Another one way is, example, I could go and take a little clip of this hi-hat, and I can go and use Groove Pool in Ableton Live. I can add the little clip of the groove there. Loading. And I can now add the same groove into all the other samples. I can highlight example those there and go here, groove, drum loop that one, and quantize them into the same groove as the hi-hats are. Just making sure everything is in the same groove. Another one is adding sidechain, example, ducking effect, things like that to make sure that they're all in a one groovy harmony together. That what we want is groovy harmony. As a wise man once said, groovy baby, is that? Oh, that's a bad joke. Oh, Sophie's telling me that joke slayed, so maybe it wasn't that bad. Okay. Day 6 could be groove. Day 7, what is missing from our here? Example, we could add, depending on the genre, vocals are pretty important. So we could have one example, lyrics and vocals. We can add those. Oh, we have so many days left. We already made lots and lots and lots. We already have bass. We have synths. Let's put maybe pads. Pads is always good. Just those big, long sounds that fill the space and all that. And at this point, we're just collecting sounds. Can you see? We're not worrying about arrangement. We're not worrying about the end goal. We're just adding sounds. So if you just follow, you just create this, then create this, and don't worry about the outcome yet. Don't worry about it. It will come. It will happen. As long as you're just not like thinking, oh, it needs to be this kind of sound. No. Just trust the process. Trust it. Trust it. It's so frustrating because I know that people are like, oh, but it's not sounding. I know it doesn't sound great. Usually at this point, it sounds pretty shit, to be honest. But just, it'll be fine. So we have pads twice. Okay. Ear candy. Ear candy is all that glitchy goodness. Sophie, who is here, is absolute master in that stuff, in her music. She just like glitches things up. She adds samples. She just she just samples so much sounds. It could be a doorknob sound, and she just like adds effects to it and makes it glitchy and just like drops that in there, and it sounds amazing. It could be example sound. It could be anything. It could be a little abbreviated synth that has a lot of delay and it's really short and it just kind of goes and nice. It's all that kind of nice little ear candy. Day 10, let's arrange it. Okay, so arranging itself by itself. Oh, what's happened here? Arrangement, a technique that I've been using a lot recently is using a reference track. Just drag and drop a, let me just show you. I know it's annoying because I'm going between screens, but oh no, I went back here. What's happening? Ableton Live. There we go. So for example, we could go here and I could just drag and drop a song, just a teeny tiny moment. I'm gonna find a song. What am I doing? Finding a song. Is it called? Yeah, there we go. Got really confused for a moment. Example. I'm gonna add there we go. Example I have here, I'm just gonna put it on the top of the page. I have a Ben Bomer track called Breathing. And I'm not copying it. What I'm doing is I'm just making sure that it's not warped. And I go here and I listen to it and I add a locator. Let's say that's intro. That's the start of the verse. I almost see here where everything kind of goes. That's the chorus one. Like that. I'm just using it as a template. Here's a drop. Oh. Like that. And I just feel that. Now I can remove that track. And I have, okay, let's put intro here, verse here, chorus here, drop there, and so on. It's the easiest way. That even itself, that is already a workflow by itself. And it's so fast to create that. So create structure wherever you can. Create structure of how can you make this faster? How can you create it more structured instead of sitting there and thinking, oh, I need to create an arrangement. I need to create an arrangement. I need to create an arrangement. And then you start putting everything in and you're like, why is it not working? Just be systematic about things. Create yourself a guideline, a plan on how you can do it. Okay, arrangement. And then on the 11th day, it could be add swells, transitions, and lifts. There we go. What's missing? Audio effects and automation. And voila, you have a finished track. Now, if you do all this, create a chord pattern, find a motive, create a solo, kick and hi-hat, bass, groove, lyrics and vocals, pads, ear candy, arrangements, swells and transitions, lifts, audio effects and automation. Obviously, customize this to your genre, to whatever you do. It can be in different order. You can even just create a random one. Maybe put this in some kind of randomizer and just put all the things you want to do and just pick one in a hat and be like, okay, today I'm going to do this. Obviously, arrangement is easier to do in the end, and maybe audio effects and automation. So now, if you do all this, you will have something. Again, trust the process. You will have something. And the thing is that even if you finish something that you don't like first, but you keep on doing this kind of workflow, I promise by the second, third, or fourth track, you will make something that you like. And especially if you do this in a way that customizes this type of stuff that you love. Okay, let's have a look what other type of workflows there are. Oh yeah, my course is a workflow. You can use that. Example, other ways to do action workflow. Pretend to be a client who needs a certain type of track commissioned. I was in a songwriting camp recently and they had pitches. Then we need to just write a song on a pitch. Create yourself a pitch. Ask ChatGPT to create yourself a pitch. Reference, you have Sunday morning lo-fi in a cafe. Keywords, warm, chill, atmospheric, organic. Use these as guidelines to create. This is a workflow. Instrumentation. And inside of this, you can create another workflow. Create step-by-step workflow like this based on this. You have just be very particular and systematic about the things you want. So now you know what kind of song you want to make. Create a plan. What kind of, structure does it have? What kind of instruments it has? What kind of keywords so is it warm? Is it energetic? Plan everything. Other ways to do action workflow is example, dissecting your reference tracks. Like example, I had the track there. So listen to your reference track and list all elements. This way that we were just listing stuff here. List all of them, but a bit more with more detail. So example, what kind of chords? What kind of key is it? Is it in minor key? Is it major key? Now work through your list one by one until your full track is ready. That's how it is. Trust the process. Just keep on doing, create a list, work through the list. In the end, you have a song. Ta-da! And that's how easy it is. Find a YouTube video that shows how someone is making a full track from start to finish. Funny enough, I know a YouTuber who does this type of stuff. A lot of it. Follow it by step. Your track is ready when there's no more steps. Produce a full track in 10 steps. I have a full playlist full of this kind of stuff. I show how I make my tracks. I show how my workflow in 10 steps. You can use these in your 12 days of creativity, in your track making. Go and find one that you like. I have pop, I have house music, I have techno, electropop. So I have different genres. You can go and watch them. Or find someone who you like. So that was our task. This is what you need to do in the next 2 weeks. And remember to be kind to yourself. Yeah? And this is what we'll be doing for the autumn. And hopefully we will get so many amazing tracks in the end. Now, question time. Whew, that was a lot to talk. Hi, Sophie. Do you have some questions for me?
I have 2 questions at the moment, but we've got a little bit of time. So if anybody else wants to ask any more questions, absolutely go for it. Pop it in the chat and we'll see if we can get around to it. But the first question was from somebody asking, what elements of music theory are essential in any track?
None. The thing is, again, there's no rules. No rules. Whatever you make is whatever you make. That is your art. The tricky thing comes when you want to make certain type of things. So let's say you want to create a house track. At that point, you might need to know some stuff. So you might need to know what tempo is, what BPM is, so that you know that house tracks are usually between 124 to 130. Techno tracks are a little bit higher than that. If you that point, if you want to know, you might need to know something about scales. Again, you can most likely Google things, and you can just kind of like just put like what genre is melodic house, find a scale, put that in Ableton Live, and then just click on the notes that are colorful. So don't be pressured to feel like you need to know more, because to make good music, how much good music has been made by people who don't know nothing about music theory is millions and millions of great songs. So you just use all the technology that there is in your advantage, and it's not cheating, it's not being lazy, it's not anything, it's just your process and you're excelling as yourself. Just be yourself and do that.
Nice.
I just saw this one that said, what do you recommend for making good transitions? I have videos on that. If you put LNA transitions onto YouTube, you will find this one. You will find lots of videos I made about transitions. That's my best recommended techniques. Go there.
Cool. Perfect. And there was a really cool question. I like this one. It was about workflow, and they asked, do you allow yourself to stray from the workflow? For example, if during one particular step you get inspired to do another step, do you do it or do you keep it for later?
100% I'm gonna let myself, because I made the rules. So I'm not gonna be that hard. Like, if inspiration, you will never say no to inspiration. I think that's pretty good. You will only, like, when inspiration is lost, you will need to find guide to it, to push it. But when inspiration is found, you're not going to say no to it. No idea is a shit idea. You will do all your ideas. You will put them down. It's only when your ideas confuse you. So example, if your idea is suddenly that you're making a melodic house track and suddenly you're like, oh my God, I need a electric guitar solo. At that point, you can start questioning was that part of the goal? does melodic house tracks have usually a guitar solo? If you want to make a melodic house track that has a guitar solo, absolutely freaking go for it, because I want to hear how that sounds. But also, if the goal is to get onto playlists in a certain genre, then you need to be also realistic that maybe the track with the guitar solo is not going to get on a playlist that you want to get on, because it's not that usual to have that. But then you need to then redefine what your goal is. If your goal is just to make tracks that make you happy and you love them and you want to be true to your sound, then freaking put that guitar solo there. So you need to value who are you making the music for and what is the actual goal in it. And then be realistic and honest about it. So currently, example as LNA, my genre, I'm wanting to get onto those playlists because I want to monetize it. I want to earn money from this, as from those songs. But as Liina Turtonen, I have a million different projects. I'm separate. LNA is a brand. LNA is my job. Liina Turtonen is not that necessarily. I am, as a person, can create so many different genres and different things and explore. But I'm putting all that creative thing there. But as LNA, I want to kind of keep it in that box so that the industry is accepting it so that I can earn money from it. But it doesn't mean I need to change as a person. It's just part of me that I'm willing to put in a little like separate category, whereas everything else can just flourish as a weird, freaky person that I am.
Yes, love it. Love it.
So there's different goals. That's what I'm meaning.
Yeah.
But none of them is right or wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really cool and kind of clear way of putting it, I think. 100%. Like, we're all multifaceted people.
Yeah.
There's another cool question from somebody, and I'm going to condense it a little bit. But they've just kind of asked, when it comes to remixes, does the workflow change if you're remixing a track? And then there's the legalities. But I thought it might be more interesting to talk about the workflow maybe than, I suppose, the legalities.
I think it depends what the goal is. So what does the client want? Some remixes are for like you're making a remix and then you're trying to send it to the artist for them to accept. And sometimes you're commissioned to do a remix. So depending on that, in terms of workflow, I guess that's the kind of thing, is that if you're creating a remix for somebody, you can't expect that it will be published. You can possibly play it as a bootleg type of thing as a DJ or something. But I would say that generally you need to have the person's permission to publish whatever you have created. And if you don't have that, you can publish it. Someone said, send a remix to an artist to accept. So example, if you want it on their Spotify profile, you need to send it to them to accept it so that you can add it so that it's officially their remix. So often artists or record labels actually commission people to do official remixes. So you can create a remix and you can post it, but legally they are allowed to take that down because you're using their stuff to create something else that you're earning money from. So legally, quite often, example, they will take it down, or the actual platform will take it down. But sometimes why we see a lot of remixes that are not actual official ones is because the artist was like, that's fine, I'm just going to leave it there. But yeah, if you want it to be official, you need to send it to the artist to be accepted. Or you need to be commissioned to do that.
Cool. Yeah, I think that answers the questions. Unless anybody else has any final questions? I think we've got a couple of minutes left.
Well, if we have a
Or
couple of minutes, I just want to remind you about the tasks. So these tasks are every second week. Go and download the 12 Days of Creativity Planner, fill that out based on everything that you have learned here. And we will come back in 2 weeks. And the next sessions will be, I can't remember. I'm going to remind myself quickly.
14th of October.
14th of October.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go to the website where it says oh, do you have good memory, Sophie?
I believe there's an interview with Lena Punks.
Yes, absolutely. So we have interview with Lena Punks, and also how can I have more confidence in my music. So we're going to talk about loving your music and how can you feel, especially in this industry after all these pressures, how can we make sure that we're not getting creative blocks. So we're talking about that. And then Lena Punks is amazing artist and a DJ, and she has blown up in the past year and two, getting massive deals, get massive gigs at Juna Deep, so many cool festivals she's played, so much, and she's absolutely inspirational in how she's working, and we're going to talk about her work, and go and follow her on social so then you know what to ask her, because please come there to ask her things. And again, you remember you're going to get your next task from me in the next session. So then we will keep on working on this. And if you want feedback from myself and fellow people on these tracks that you create, come to my Patreon, which is linked down below. I do monthly stream in my Patreon, giving feedback from my Patreon. So if you want a feedback from me, go there. It's £1 per month, and you can join. And you can also get feedback from fellow people there who are absolutely amazing, and also tips and tricks on workflows or even Ableton technical issues, anything mixing, everything is there's so many people who can help you with that, and me as well. So thank you so much for coming here today. Thank you so much for Alice, who was here as a guest today, and then we will come back in 2 weeks. Exciting talking to Lena and two Lenas. Me, my name is Lena, and then another Lena.
Woo.
Woohoo! Awesome. And thank you so much, Sophie. And go and follow Sophie as well on socials. Cherry Seraph makes amazing alternative pop. Is that your genre?
It is.
That is, yeah. Okay, I said it correctly. Okay, merci beaucoup. There's someone there and in France. Thank you so much. Have a very inspirational and creative time, and we will see you into. Oh my God! I almost forgot. This Friday, I will be DJing for the first time ever in front of people. On Becky Save's live Twitch live stream on Friday at 2 p.m. UK time. I'm so nervous. So come and join Becky's Safe. Oh no, I'm gonna quickly. I need to send you the Twitch, don't I? There we go. I will be here. I will be there DJing with Becky on Friday, 2 p.m. this Friday. So come and see me being all red and shy and doing these dance moves. Maybe even the finger move. Oh God. It's going to be awkward. But yeah, cool. See you all later.
Bye.
Bye.